Tuesday morning, I was worried about breakfast. What would happen if people from each team met in the dining hall? We'd have to be very careful not to speak to or even communicate with one another. Dai hadn't specified exactly what counted as communication, but it was probably best to assume she'd be really strict about it. But what would my team eat? Kanashi couldn't speak to us even about meals. I went along to the dining hall anyway to see who was there. I found Kimiko and Vladimir sitting at the table talking to Ai. Good morning.
Hi.
Hello. Sit down. Shizuka's making us breakfast.
Is it edible?
So, how long do we have until we get close?
We are close now, Captain. Please specify.
Close enough that it's dangerous.
It will most likely be Sunday.
Are they talking about the black hole?
Yes. You look well. Did you sleep better?
I did. You seem alright too. Do you know how Melody is? Did they find things we left?
They disappeared last night. Ai says that Melody slept in Katashi's quarters and had fun.
Well, that's good news, I suppose.
So you're saying we're likely to hit the most dangerous point right when Dai will drag us back into playing this new game?
Yes, that is correct.
I'm not even surprised. Thank you, Ai.
Shizuka arrived. She was carrying a cake.
Sorry, I'm not good at food, and I didn't know what else to do.
She put the cake down, and I saw it had been sliced into 4 large pieces. Shizuka served us 1 piece each and then reached into her pockets. She had 4 apples and passed them around.
Apples! Because they're good for you. And come with the added benefit of being ready to serve off the tree.
Melody had better be eating better than this.
I think anyone would be eating better than this. She is on the team with the cook. The captain picked up her fork, looking at her giant slice of cake. The slices were so large it was difficult to decide where to begin with them. She put her fork back down and picked up the apple.
Thank you for volunteering to arrange breakfast, Shizuka.
Shizuka sat down.
I did the best I could. Sorry it's not up to Katashi's standards.
Cake wasn't a breakfast food I was familiar with, but it sure was a delicious one. I didn't cook, so I've got no complaints. Thanks, Shizuka. Shizuka beamed with pride and started digging into her cake. After breakfast and a shower, I went back to my quarters. Getting properly dressed meant picking up the pocket watch again and looking at it. It was so old, or at the very least old-fashioned. It didn't move and it didn't seem to work, but I liked to keep it with me anyway. I needed to work out what it was for. If it could really allow interdimensional travel, the possibilities were endless. I decided to show it to one of my team. The captain might know what my parents were researching. Her mother was the previous captain, after all. But Vladimir actually knew my parents when he was a scientist. Then again, he was also very distracted. Shizuka was good at games and puzzles, and the watch was a kind of puzzle. Maybe she'd be able to figure out how it worked. Crap. This is gonna complicate stuff. Let's see. If we take Shizuka now, we can lose the bidding wars and kill her, and then do Kimiko, and then win. Or wait. If we pick Shizuka, we have to win. If we grab Kimiko, then we have to lose, and backwards. I looked at my tablet to see where Shizuka was, showed her in the kitchen. I hope she had more success impressing the team with her cooking. After all, she had volunteered her time and effort and deserved some credit. Arriving at the kitchen, I discovered a disaster in progress. Shizuka's face was covered with flour along with most of the kitchen. Her hands were stained 2 different shades of brown and all sticky from wherever she'd spilled on them. There were glistening sticky patches on the surfaces and floor too. Hey Shizuka, what you making?
I'm not sure yet. In games, I usually just mix ingredients until it works. Then you learn the recipe and it's just automatic after.
Makes sense. Guess it's not like that in real life.
I've watched Katashi like 1,000,000 times before. I can do this.
Concerned that we might end up with raw flour and sticky sauce for dinner, I offered my help. Do you need any help?
No. You'll just mess up my system.
You have to kind of make a system before I can mess it up. Just saying. There's a system? Shizuka stopped staring and make sure to look at me.
Of course there's a system.
Okay, listen. Can you wash your hands? There's something I want you to look at. I wanted to show her the pocket watch, but not with her hands like they were. Shizuka washed her hands in the sink, then held a clean hand palm up.
All clean. Gimme.
I got the watch out and gave it to her. Found this with my parents' research. Definitely had something to do with their work, but I'm not sure how.
So it's got something to do with physics? Doesn't look like it.
What do you think looking at it? Shizuka turned the watch over in her hands. She tapped the face a few times and looked closely at the buttons without pressing any. She examined the back.
Well, it clearly isn't working. I know what a watch does, and it looks like that's what it's supposed to do. Except for the number here on the face.
You're pointing to the 12.
What is that for?
I don't know.
Well, I think this number here is important.
What about the rest of it? The rest is just a watch. It's gotta be this extra number that makes it whatever it's supposed to be. I guess that makes sense. Shizuka handed back the watch.
Sorry I can't help more.
Well, you're cooking dinner, that's helping.
I'm glad you think so. I doubt Vladimir does.
Well, a man his age knows a thing or two. He's under a lot of stress right now.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's extra low for Dai to do this. Not that she's a delight normally, but this just feels extra cruel.
Yeah, I hope Melody will be alright.
Katashi will take good care of her. And I think Nicholas has a secret soft spot for her.
At least we know she'll have a doctor if she gets sick.
But she's missing out on my experimental food creations.
Katashi wouldn't even give her breakfast cake.
Exactly. I'm clearly where the fun is.
If you describe fun as insanity, then yes you are. She's good at cooking to get on with, and since she didn't have any insights about the watch, I felt somewhat disheartened. I decided to go back to my quarters. It was about time I called Ai so we could talk about Dai and her programming. I sat on the bed with the papers and tablets sprawled over the bed. Nothing. Still nothing. This is so frustrating. Okay, I need to calm down. Getting angry isn't going to solve anything. I threw myself back on the bed and stared at the ceiling for a long time before I was suddenly bathed in the warm glow of Ai's holographic interface.
I am sorry to interrupt.
Don't worry about it, Ai. You weren't interrupting anything. What's up?
I found some more information that may be useful against Dai.
That's wonderful. What is it?
I've discovered that it's possible to input the deactivation code into any terminal, including your personal tablets.
Do you know anything else about the deactivation code? Ai shook her head.
Unfortunately, I didn't learn anything else. I tried to access more information, but even with my administrator privileges, I was unable to proceed any further.
Well, at least we know where we can input the code once we know what it is.
I am glad you are pleased.
It isn't perfect, but it's a step in the right direction.
I must return to my duties.
Of course, thanks for the update, Ai. I bowed and phased out of my quarters. Deactivated from tablet or terminal, huh? At least now I know that I wouldn't need a higher clearance level. Probably gonna have to dig up some information on a U-move if I wanted to work out this code. There was no help for it now, though. The captain was on the other team. No, she isn't. I returned my attention to the watch. Come on, hero. Pull yourself together. You need to work this out. I sifted through my parents' papers and tablets to see if I had missed anything. After a surprisingly restful night, I woke up Wednesday morning feeling refreshed. My conversation with Ai gave me some sense of purpose. I decided to go to the dining hall. In my enthusiasm to get the day going, I had left my tablet in my quarters. I'd forgotten to look at it and see who was where. Just after walking to the dining hall and someone from the other team was in there, I'd walk back out without saying anything. I needn't have worried. Vladimir was in there alone. He was reading from his tablet with a cup of coffee beside him. He looked like a father on a leisurely Sunday morning. Not my father, of course, but the way I imagine most fathers were. Good morning, Vladimir. You look relaxed.
Hello. I wouldn't say I'm relaxed, but I'm not as stressed as I have been.
That's great. Did I report in about Melody?
She did. Apparently, she's been drawing a lot, and she's very excited because she's going to be helping Nicholas today.
So she's going to be running in a large wheel to power the ship? Helping him with what?
Well, nobody's in need of surgery, so thankfully that isn't an option.
If he were a real doctor, that wouldn't stop him.
He'll probably get her to count something or sort things. That's what I do when she comes to the lab with me.
Either way, I'm sure she'll be very helpful. Vladimir smiled, but I could see from his eyes that it was something of an effort for him. Where are Shizuka and the captain? Have you seen them today? Shizuka's in the kitchen. The captain hasn't come for breakfast yet, which is odd since she's normally an early riser. She's grieving.
That is most likely, so I'm not too worried. She needs her space and some time.
Clearly, Vladimir was as okay as he could be. Under the circumstances, I wanted to check on the rest of my team. Shizuka was right nearby, but I wasn't concerned about her too much. On the other hand, the captain wasn't well, but I'd have to go searching for her. I decided to go see how Shizuka was doing with the cooking. I appreciate her effort, even if the result was not that great. Let's see what culinary monstrosity she's whipped up today. Coming into the kitchen, I didn't see her at first. I thought perhaps I had missed her. But then I saw her. She was sitting on the floor. Shizuka? What's wrong? Are you okay?
Nothing. I'm fine.
How many fingers do you have left? You really don't look fine. Tell me what's wrong. Maybe I can help. Without answering me, she got back up to her feet. Realizing she was about to walk out of the kitchen without telling me what was wrong, I put my arm up to block her. I couldn't just let her leave.
What are you doing? Let me out!
That wasn't very convincing acting. Huh, so you actually get the whole romance thing here. So we can go the whole, scumbag boyfriend route here. The friend route, and then the romance route. Now keep in mind you don't get any routes until you have the code, so what you choose here I don't think really matters. I care about you. I looked down at Shizuka, much smaller than me. She was trying to avoid eye contact and her face was flushing. I was probably intimidating her, so I wanted to emphasize I was trying to help, not scare her. Shizuka, I really care about you. I just want you to tell me what's wrong so I can help you, even if I can't make the problem go away.
I know.
You can tell me anything, even if you think it's silly, or it's wrong, or weird. I'll still judge you, but I'll listen.
I guess. I'm just scared. I don't want anyone else to die.
We can still shed a few crew members, don't worry. I know, me neither. I'm doing my best to fix the die situation so that...
You.
Huh?
I'm worried about you dying.
Well, as long as my head stays attached, things get kinda weird. Me? I hadn't been expecting that, and I didn't know what the most comforting response would be. She was scared about me dying? Oh, well, please don't worry about that. I'm gonna make sure I live, and so should you.
I should make sure you live?
No, I said that wrong. I mean, you should concentrate on making sure that you live.
Maybe we can both do both.
Look after each other? I think I'm getting the better deal here. Who better to have in my corner than the best game player in the galaxy? Shizuka blushed.
Thanks. I've got your back, and I'm not dying just yet. I promise.
I moved my arm to let Shizuka out of the kitchen. She didn't run, but she moved quite fast, away from me and down the hall towards the crew quarters. Shizuka hadn't cooked anything in the end, and I wasn't hungry enough to try to prepare something myself. I decided to go back to my quarters to organize my thoughts. There was just too much going on. The watch, the new deletion game, with Dai and the personal struggles of the crew. I needed to think about it all. I was almost back to my own room when I came across Vladimir. He was pacing back and forth in the hallway, muttering in Russian. What's wrong? Is it Melody?
I says she had to get a band-aid put on her knee.
Was she hurt badly? Band-aid didn't sound like much to worry about.
She tripped and fell in the eco lounge. I says she cried and kept asking for me.
A little scraped knee wasn't such a big deal, but it must have been hard to know his child was wanting him and he couldn't go to her. I'm sorry, Vladimir. This must be hard. Is it just her knee?
I don't know. I can't know.
Was I worried?
I doesn't know what's worth worrying about.
I just meant that if it's only a scraped knee, she'll be alright. She's safe.
I don't know that. How did she fall? Was anyone watching her? How do I know they're looking after her properly?
Don't worry, they put her in her cage, they don't feed her after midnight, and they make sure she stays dry. Case closed. I know you're worried, but it sounds like...
This game is ridiculous, and this whole situation is just stupid.
I was about to answer him, but he wasn't interested in hearing me. He just made a disgusted sound and marched away from me.
Good
Good morning! Rise and shine, kids! This is your friendly neighborhood AI requesting you all to be at the dining room within half an hour, or else face the consequences.
A friendly neighborhood AI would have a snooze button, damn it.
Not so fast.
I repeat, we are ready, all systems are go. This is not a drill. Get to that dining room in 29 minutes and 25 seconds. What? Where was I and what was happening? I've been asleep, fast asleep, and fairly peacefully for once. No spinning clocks, no Di laughing as she killed me. Di! That was what was going on. Di's voice had woken me up as it screeched out of the intercom. I turned on the light so I could see the time. 3:25 a.m. Seriously? I managed to drag myself out of bed and start the confusing process of getting dressed in the middle of the night. I kept myself from thinking about sleep by trying to figure out what we were all being summoned for. Couldn't be the deletion game because we weren't scheduled to start playing until Sunday. Di might have suddenly changed the rules, but she hadn't done that before. Unless it was because someone had broken a rule. But who would do that? We didn't even know what the punishment was, so why risk it? Oh no. I remember Vladimir's angry outburst and his declaration that our situation was stupid. Maybe he'd broken the rules by talking to Melody. What would the punishment be for that? And surely Di wouldn't punish Melody, she's just a child. Di had given us a half hour to get to the dining hall, but I didn't want to risk being late or even the last person to arrive. Attracting Di's attention was the last thing I wanted to do. The second I was dressed, I hurried outside. On my way to the dining hall, I saw the captain. How are you feeling?
Quite healthy. Until Di woke me. What do you think is happening?
My guess is that someone broke the no communication rule and spoke to someone on the other team. My money's on Vladimir.
Yes, I have to agree.
Watch it turn out to be Kadashi and Shizuka. We walked to the dining hall together, and when we got there, Vladimir and Shizuka were already sitting down. On the other side of the table, the twins hadn't shown up yet, but Kadashi and Melody were there. Kadashi was trying to comfort Melody, who was sobbing into his armpit.
Your dad is right over there, see? He's okay.
What happened?
I couldn't handle it. I had to see her.
Don't beat yourself up. I don't think you were supposed to handle it.
It sucked that Melody couldn't even be with her dad while Di made the punishment announcement. But at least Kadashi was there. He barely looked conscious, but he was there. The door opened and Nicholas and Beatrix came in together.
Forget Di's stupid games. I will personally execute whoever's responsible for this.
It's the brat, she's over there, get her. Di appeared as though summoned by Beatrix's slight.
My games? Stupid. How dare you?
Di's attitude quickly shifted to interest.
That being said, I am interested to watch you execute someone. How will you do it, Trixie?
Tisk.
I bet you are a strangler. Are you, Trixie? A strangler?
What's really sad is that was my thought, too. She has large biceps, that's all I'm gonna say.
Let's just sit down and get this over with.
Beatrix glared at the room, lingering on Vladimir. He just impassively stared back.
As I'm sure you are already aware, the rule forbidding communication between teams has been broken, which is why you've all been summoned here this morning.
This isn't fair!
All the rules were clearly explained, and an opportunity was given to ask for repeats and clarifications. What's not fair about that?
Separating a child and her father isn't fair.
Ah, yes, but life is not fair. Fate. She is a cruel mistress. Oh, hey, what do you know? So am I!
You're pretty tame. I kind of imagine a government bureaucrat would be exponentially worse than Di. Could you imagine having to fill out forms in triplicate before you could spin that wheel? We'd die of old age before the thing on the wheel actually killed us.
But sometimes I can be generous, and so, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, or this morning, or whatever this is, I present to you, courtesy of the rule-breaking Vladimir, the punishment. That's right, you get a punishment.
Di pointed at Vladimir. She stood still for a moment before continuing.
And you get a punishment.
Di pointed at Kimiko.
And you get a punishment.
Di pointed at me.
Everybody gets a punishment. What? Congratulations to all our winners.
But we didn't break the rules. That's not fair.
I'm hearing that word a lot today. Fair this, fair that. Wah, wah. It's kind of a drag. Really ruins the tone of this whole event.
You can't punish everyone just because one person broke the rules.
Trixie dear, I can punish whoever I want, whenever I want. Secondly, the punishment has to be applied to everyone because this is a team game.
Then punish the team that broke the rules.
I will. And also the other team. I don't know what all this fuss is about. It's actually a pretty fun punishment. If I was you, I would be dying with anticipation for this. And the exciting event is coming to you live right here, right now. It's...
The room fell completely silent as we waited with bated breath.
the deletion game!
Di spread her arms theatrically as she made this declaration. The room remained silent.
What?
But we're not ready. We haven't had time to prepare.
Well, that's not my fault.
But don't you want the game to be interesting? 8 tired people doing the first thing they can think of won't be very exciting.
Di considered this for a few moments.
Good point. This is why you're the captain. I will allow you 10 minutes for strategy meetings. Team A stays here. Team B will meet in the kitchen.
But
Disperse!
Team B got out of their seats and filed past us slow and slouching. We all sat in silence, struggling to wake up, let alone handle the situation. It wasn't long before Di reappeared and asked us for our first point allocation. So I think I'm gonna put a break here and go get the other route real quick.